All right, moments ago, we discussed with Judy the different ways that Mother Nature gives us clues as to what type of winter we can expect. But we're going to dive in a little deeper now to that fuzzy little worm.
Yes, and when you get the pictures of the worm, what exactly are you looking for?
Well, there are 4 things that I look for when I put on my promeotology hat. And I pick my chart, and the first thing I look for is obviously the color of the woolly worm's coat. General rule of thumb is the darker the worm, or the darker the segments, the more harsh and nasty comes the winter. If they are the orange, the brown, the lighter kind, it means the winter will be more mild. Sometimes you get 2 tones. You get the black at the front, black at the bottom, which means cold start, cold end, but in the middle you'll get some warm spells. So the color of the coat is very important, and of course they're distant cousins. If there are a lot of white ones, you know what that means, a lot of snow. Then I look at the appearance of the coat. Is it chubby? Is it fat? Is it skinny? Is it sparse? Is it spiky? Now, we had a woolly worm this year that had a lot of spikes on it, and the multicolored, which I'd never seen before, but that was interesting. So then you have
So what do spikes mean? Like we're seeing here on this little guy.
This is the one I was talking about.
Yes.
It means icy. So not only do you have cold, you have icy conditions.
Now, that does not sound great.
No, that doesn't sound great. This is unusual. I haven't seen a woolly worm quite like that. But anyway, that would be the segments. There are 13 segments in the woolly worm, each representing the 13 weeks of winter. So if you wanted to be specific, you could look at every single one of those bands and say, oh, the 3rd week of winter, it's going to be really cold. But maybe the 10th week, it's going to be kind of mild. Now, who's going to do that? But that's what you look at, those different segments.
When it looks like over half of the seasons were icy cold.
Yes.
I can
the last
pinpoint that.
Which is the most difficult, is the direction in which they're moving. I mean, you have to have a time-lapse camera, I think, to watch them. But this gentleman from Oakland, Eric Gray, keeps a chart for me. And you notice this column right here?
Yes.
Black.
Lots of black.
130 black ones he saw.
Oh.
But anyway, he also looks at the direction, and they're all going south. General rule of thumb is if you have a migration of worms moving south, they're doing what we want to do. I'm out of here.
I'm with you. Yes.
If they're going north or staying east-west, it means, oh, it's not going to be too bad. I think I'll just stick around.
We actually have a picture of what the woolly worm turns into, because it's not a butterfly.
Yes. Oh. No, it's not. It's not a...
This is new information.
It's not even a worm. It's a caterpillar. And they turn into the Isabella tiger moth, and this is a picture of it. It's really a pretty moth. Its lifespan is 2 days.
Oh.
They are born in the spring. They mate. They lay their eggs, which will be the future woolly worms. And the woolly worms only survive a couple of weeks. So it's kind of an interesting life cycle of the woolly worm and the moth.
They're dodging lots of cars there on the road, for sure, I know.
That's true.
We have another photo here of a little woolly worm.
Oh,
How
I love this.
adorable is that?
This is my favorite woolly worm picture ever. Ever in the 30 years, 40 years I've been doing this. I think this is the greatest picture.
Does it look all black, or does it look like they may have a little bit of orange in the middle?
I see.
What do you think?
A tint of orange, but for the most part it's black, fuzzy, fatty.
Yes. Oh, well, and we're going to scroll through some of our woolly worm wrangler photos, because you really couldn't do this without the help of the community.
Absolutely not. It's just a wonderful delight to do this, because it's not a sure thing to predict the winter forecast ahead of time, whether you're a supercomputer, a meteorologist, or a promeotologist like me. But one thing I'm sure of is I love the woolly worms and my woolly worm wranglers. They absolutely, wherever I am, they stop me with this big smile and say, Judy, I saw my first woolly worm. And in today's chaos in the world, Isn't it nice to bring a smile to someone's face? And I'm
Yes.
grateful to them forever.
Yes. Well, we kind of threw in a little, you know, mix of photos that we got, trying not to give anything away.
Yes.
But coming up, we're going to do a recap of last year's forecast, see just how accurate your forecast was last year with the woolly worms.
Okay.
Before
Sounds
getting this year's 2024-25 woolly worm forecast. Okay, she's sticking around, and when we come back, we'll have a little recap.